Hello. So, as you might know, we are in the middle of a global pandemic and it is not a lot of fun. So, I'm pretty bored and I thought that I would systematically go through my camera collection. They're all pretty old, kind of bed up, some are, some aren't. The one today is kind of interesting. It's from the former Soviet Republic. This is it, it's in this box. I'm gonna open it up. So I think you can just lift these bad boys up. Here we go. Came in this little hard case, which is interesting. Very Soviet chic. We have the camera. We got a spare film back. This originally came with a manual in Russian. I can't seem to find it. It's around somewhere. I definitely still have it. I just can't find it. So I'm gonna pop that down there. Prism finder, pretty cool. I'll get into this later. But yeah, so this is the camera. It's a boxy, heavy old boy. I think it weighs something like nearly 4 kilograms with the prism finder on it. I might be wrong, but that's what I recall. Yeah, so it's a medium format SLR with a waist level finder and a prism finder. It shoots a 6x6 negative and you get 15 shots to a roll. So you take this back off here, you just slide this little bad boy over, slide this over, and it'll come off. Yeah. So this is the back. You got your dark slide here. This was where the film would be exposed. And yeah, so you open it up like this. You pull that out. You would load your spoon here. I don't have any film at the moment because, you know, global pandemic and ordering film was the last thing on my mind. Although I have quite a stash of 35mm there. But yeah, you would load your film in here, spool it over. In you go. Yeah, there we go, finally. So yeah, bit difficult to load. You won't always get it right. And definitely not something that you want to be doing a lot. I'm gonna pop this back on here and I'll go to the camera. So that's on. What next? Okay, so you pop her open. So it's a waist level finder. So you look down like this, you focus, and oh, you gotta pull this thing out first. So you got your dark side. You focus, and boom, there you go. So that's the noise it makes. It's pretty cool, pretty loud. You're not gonna be very discreet with this. Interesting thing about these Russian cameras, you have to always wind on before you change any speeds. It can damage the internal mechanism if you don't. I'm not quite sure why. It doesn't seem to happen with Japanese or German cameras from the same period. Speaking of period, this is actually from 1994. It's 2 years younger than me, which is pretty cool. But yeah, listen to that. It's just so fucking cool. Boom. This is actually really interesting. It has a hot shoe. I didn't think it was going to work, but yeah, it syncs the flashes. It only has one speed, 1/30 per second. It's kind of useless unless you're in a like dim studio setting. So, interesting thing to look at is the size of the shutter curtain. It is huge. I mean, like, look at this thing. It's like just massive. Like, it's such a huge chunk of metal to move. And this is kind of like why this camera can be difficult to use handheld. And I'm gonna run at a slower speed so you can see. So there's half a second. But there's the prism finder, huge, so heavy. It probably weighs about the same as the actual camera. You just slide it on. You just slide it on there. Secure. Lock it in with the back. And you've got a completely different camera. It's a TTL finder, so you turn it on here. Turn it on here. And then you have an option here. You set your aperture on it. So let's say your lens is at 2.8, you set this to 2.8, and then honestly you just spin it some lights light up inside, and I think when it goes green, it means it's the correct exposure. As you see the ground glass a bit clearer, it's good for like critical focusing. I like it. Don't really shoot too much because it adds so much extra weight to the camera. The reason why I like shooting these is the waist level finder. I mean, when you're shooting on the street, you can kind of look down and people just think you're adjusting your camera. They don't pay any attention to you. It doesn't look like you're taking a photograph, which can be beneficial sometimes. This thing's cool. It's good for studio. It's good for shooting portraits because, you know, it's quite hard to lift this up if you want to shoot high or shoot at your eye line. It's difficult. Lens is super interesting. Really sharp lens. It's got some interesting character. Gonna pop it off here now. Yeah, it's an RSAS B, 80mm, roughly 50mm equivalent. Pretty clean lens, no fungus whatsoever. Like it's crystal clear. You can see straight through that thing. I guess there's a few reasons why I like this camera. I like how it feels. I like the price point, pretty cheap. You know, it's kind of maybe the easiest way to get into medium format photography. I bought this whole kit for €250. Yeah, it's rugged. It's not the best made camera in the world. The negatives it produces are pretty incredible, to be honest with you. I really like them. I like shooting with it. It has its faults sometimes. I can probably recreate it here, but sometimes if I wiggle this, it'll fire. You know, you lose a few frames every now and then, which is, it's fine. You get 15 frames to a roll. You just gotta be careful when you're changing speeds. Yeah, would I recommend this? If you're on a budget, yeah. I mean, I've had a fair few medium format cameras. I've had a Pentax 67, I've had a Bronica E2 SI, Konica Pearl 2, a few folders. I like this. I'm not worried about it. I just kind of, it's kind of a beater camera. I just use it and abuse it. It's treated me well so far. And if anybody ever tries to rob you, you could probably just beat them with it. That's the Kiev 88. If there's any interest in reviewing other cameras, you know, I've got a lot of old film cameras. I might do like a Canon VT Deluxe. It's kind of rare. I've never seen anybody shoot it before, so I might do that next if anybody's interested. But yeah, sweet. This is just kind of just using this as a way to pass the time because can't really do much right now. Yeah, cool. Sweet. See you later. Bye.